The source area is where images reside for studio artists to render, and also it's where color is managed. Source images are independent of the canvas. A good way to view the source image is to compare it to the way an artist would look at a model. The source image can be smaller than the canvas, as the canvas is resolution independent of the source image. In the source area, there are 4 ways to generate color: paint, colorize, palletize, and fixed. In paint mode, studio artist will render the source image and use its color scheme. There are some presets that may additionally modulate both the image and color, but those effects are still based on the source image. In colorize mode, studio artist will still render the source image, but this time will use the main source color, which is the larger square next to the source image. In this mode, studio artist will use the luminance of the source image to render in the canvas. One way you can change the source color squares is by holding down the C key, and then clicking on the source image or in the canvas. You can also use the color wheel palette or gradient modes to choose color. If you double-click on the source color square, it will bring up the advanced color picker. You can also activate the advanced color picker by choosing Edit, Source Color Picker from the menu. Palletize will render the image using the color palette. So now when the image is rendered, it's only using the colors in the palette. One way the palette color scheme can be changed is by choosing Edit, Palette, and then choosing one of the palette color generators. I'll choose Source Image. Now studio artist will use the colors from the source image. A really cool way to make color palettes is by dragging an image onto the palette. This way you can instantly get your favorite painters or designers' colors to be applied to your own images. Fixed mode only uses the current color square. This is generally more useful for manual painting. The color mode will bring up the color wheel. The palette mode brings up the current color palette. There are 3 options in this mode: fixed, palletize, and random. Fixed functions as a color picker. Palletize uses the current color palette and tries to best color match to the original source image. Random mode randomly chooses a color from the palette. The gradient mode has 3 options: path, fixed, and random. In path mode it will paint all the colors in the gradient field. However, the way the paint puts down the color will depend on settings in the paint preset. In this particular preset, the colors are painted evenly along the paint stroke. In fixed mode, the gradient field can be used as a color picker by holding down the C key and picking a color on the gradient field. Random mode chooses a random color from the gradient. To change the gradient, choose Edit, Gradient, and then choose one of the generators. You can also change the gradient field with hotkeys. Holding down the H key will change the hue, and the L key will change luminance. The S key changes saturation. Holding the Option key on the Mac or the Alt key on the PC and clicking on the source color gradient will add the current source color, which is this bright green, to the gradient. Command Option on the Mac or Control Alt on the PC will remove the color. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us through our support tab.